So I don't know if you're going to be ready for this answer, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Someone asked me, like, who do you talk to or who would you want to work with? And, you know, what's your ideal, shall we say, audience on TikTok or whatever? And I thought, let me go backwards and let me tell you a little bit about probably what her life looked like. Let's take her back into her like 30s, and you know, she did all the things, you know, she got married, she college, and she's working her way either up the career ladder or working full time, has all this pride in her work, gets married, pops out some kids, and everything changes, right? Because she still just feels like she wants to like climb that corporate ladder, prove herself. You know, she's drank the Kool-Aid, she's done all of these things. And in the meantime, she's also has the kids, and there's all these things going on with daycare and all the things. And then all of a sudden, the kids get into school, and she's still in that mode of, okay, now we get all the school stuff and, you know, getting them out in the morning, and it's 7:46 a.m. And by then you've had a full day and you're ready for a shot of whiskey, because just getting out of the house in the morning was absolutely crazy. And during this time, she probably said to herself more than once, I could never be a stay-at-home mom because I could just not handle being with these kids. That's what she would say. Then they get older, and then they get into these activities after school. So then you have this after school rush. Sometimes you worked full time where you couldn't even get off till 5. And these activities started at 3:45. So you had to make sure you had snacks and athletic wear and all of this stuff going on. And then who knows what was for dinner. You know, some days you felt like you had it all together where, oh my God, you made this meal of food and it's so good, and you got this mom thing down, plus working, and yeah, you've got it. And then the next day, literally the kids had Swedish fish and Doritos. So then the kids get into 14, 15, and you're just like, oh my gosh, and you're still climbing the career ladder a little bit, but you start getting done. You're like, I am done with the school stuff. I'm done with these school parents. I'm done, like, all of this stuff. And they get older, and you're just like, oh my God, you know, I can't do these kid things anymore. You know, when they go off to college, it's going to be such a relief, right? Then all of a sudden, there's a moment, and they turn like 16, 17, and 18, maybe like, you know, sophomore, junior, and all of a sudden, you want to cry. Look, I'm going to cry. All of a sudden, you're just like, no, it's almost over. So for the days that she prayed, for the days to go by, because the minutes or the days were so long and the years turned out to be so short. And then all of a sudden, she's just like, I don't love this job anymore. And oh my God, look how much time I wasted at this job and not being fully present with my kids because I was worried about my job, and everything was so hectic, and all of these things were happening, and oh my God, they're going off to college. Where did my babies go? And then now, all of a sudden they do leave, and she's sitting there thinking, oh my God, you know, I don't even know what I want to eat anymore. Where did all that time go? Who am I now when outside of this job that I used to love and I worked so hard at? And who am I outside the role of my mom, of being a mom? Who am I? What has happened? You know, just all of those years in survival mode, and now everything is different. You know, for so long, you were buried under all of these roles, expectations, responsibilities, crazy stuff, and your identity and who you are was lost along the way. And that's who I work with, are the women in this gap between the life you used to have and then the life you haven't quite stepped into yet. But if you were asking me who my ideal client is, that's it. And if you are her, you should follow me.